The pei can be written with the dagesh or without the dagesh. The dagesh is that little dot in the center of the letter. If it has the dagesh, the pronunciation is P. If it doesn't have the dagesh, the pronunciation is F. Now, one of God's many names is Yahweh. That's his personal name, Yahweh Rapha. Yahweh Rapha. And that means the Lord who heals. It's found in Exodus chapter 15, verse 26, and here the pei receives the soft pronunciation of F. And just a few chapters on, in chapter 21, verse 19, the subject referred to is a human healer or physician. But here, the same word appears as here, but the pei receives a dagesh, which makes it a hard pronunciation, Rapha. Instead of Rapha, it's Rapha. The Baal HaTurim explained that whilst the healing of the human physician may be accompanied with pain and hardship, the healing of God is never harsh, but gentle. Hence the pronunciation of the pei is hard in one and soft in the other. Now I think of the soft sound like that of a feather. And in Psalm 91, God says that he will cover us with his feathers. The healing of the Lord is light and soft and has no side effects other than joy, thanksgiving, and love. And it's also taught that God has the remedy prepared before the illness strikes. The woman with the issue of blood is a case in point. Mark chapter 5 verse 21 following. She had suffered many things of many physicians, was reduced to poverty, and yet was no better, but rather grew worse. She was healed immediately upon touching the fringes of the Messiah's talit or prayer shawl, the tassels of which represented the laws of Moses, hence the perfect righteousness of Jesus. An ancient tradition throws more light on this incident. It states that when a request was being made, which was accompanied by the person grasping the fringes of the one being petitioned, the request could not be denied. As an aside, it's worth noting that the fringes also represented a person's authority. In the period of the kings, a prophet would enclose a severed tassel within the scroll which contained his inspired message as confirmation that it was genuine, a sort of signature, his mark. It was a costly mark, for the talit from which it was taken would be rendered non-kosher. It couldn't be used anymore. Touching the hem of Jesus' talit was highly significant, being the symbol of his righteousness, his authority, and, as with the prophets, it contained his personal signature, so to speak. When we seek healing from Jesus, we should be aware of these three aspects in particular, and that includes when we need to seek human medical treatment, because ultimately there is only one healer, whatever methods he uses, and a good doctor is usually well aware of this fact. Whoever calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. Joel chapter 2 verse 32. But it's not until we are brought face to face with our need that we call out to him. As Jesus said, the healthy have no need of a physician. Matthew 9 verse 12. The real point being that those who think that they are healthy don't seek help. But we're all in need of healing, actually, because all have sinned. Romans 3:23. And the soul that sins will die. Ezekiel 18:20. The knowledge of our true condition is a gracious gift of God, given that we might call aloud to him. And these things are taught by Osios Rabbi Akiva through a clever analysis of 4 consecutive letters in the Hebrew Alefbeit: Nun, Samech, Ayin, and Pei. Nun, Samech, Ayin, Pei. And it goes like this. When a fallen one, which is in Hebrew nafal, beginning with the nun, who needs support, and the word for support is somech, beginning with the letter samech, turns his or her eye upward. Ayin is the word for eye, beginning with the ayin. He calls aloud, or he calls in a loud voice. He calls aloud, and there the word is pekach. Koach is 2 words. Pekach koach, again, beginning with the pei, calling aloud, calling with a strong, mighty voice. Open the doors of the prison. And the word for open is patoach. Open the doors of the prison. We are all fallen, and we all need to turn our eyes upward and call aloud to God to open the prison. Now, do you remember the self-righteous Pharisee who prayed, "Thank God I'm not a sinner like other men, nor like this fellow next to me." And the tax collector next to him didn't dare raise his head for fear, and he prayed, "Lord, have mercy on me, a sinner." And Jesus said, "I tell you, this one went away justified, not the other." A crisis is a good time to seek the Lord for sure, but we shouldn't wait for the crisis to bear down upon us. Mend the roof while the sun shines. Lord, thank you for speaking to us and making the way of salvation so clear and simple, both in the written word of the Bible and in the Word made flesh, Jesus. The words of the Lord are a crystal clear fountain of life, refreshing the heart and renewing the mind. Teach us to speak with grace and to know when to be silent, Lord. Amen.